everyone, I'm Alicia. So after I got done filming my briolet flower tutorial, which has been a while since I made that video, I wanted to design a floral necklace with these beaded flowers. Now I only had 16 of these check pressed glass leaf beads. So I got 3 flowers out of those 16 beads, but instead of doing each flower with 6 petals, I had to do 5, which caused me to change the tops of my flowers. So the tops of my flowers don't look like these flowers right here, which that wasn't a problem. That went fine. But other than just having flowers in my necklace, I also wanted beaded leaves. And I wanted my leaves to look natural, and I mean that what I mean by that is I wanted them to be curved like a real leaf, and I wanted them to have veins. So it took me a while to figure out how to make the perfect leaf for my necklace, but I did it. But other than just using these leaves in a necklace, you can use them so many different ways because of how I made them. So this is what my leaves look like, and this is going to be a bracelet, and I need just one more leaf over here so this will fit me. And this right now with 4 leaves is measuring 6 3/4 inches. So if you have a really small wrist, you could just add a little extender chain to this. So this is what my leaves look like, and I did fall colors, and they have a natural curve to them. You can see here how they are curved. They're curved here, which makes it nice to go around your wrist because it's rounded. And I have my veins, and right here's my stem, and I have a little bail here so you can connect these leaves. So in my necklace, I connected my leaves at this little seed bead here at the top. And then in this bracelet, I connected the leaves end to end to make a bracelet. But these leaves can be used so many different ways. You can sew them onto headbands, you can sew them on flip-flops. At Pure One Imports, I've seen a lot of napkin rings which are decorated with beads and wire, and I thought that these would look so awesome on napkin rings. And even these beaded flowers, with a beaded flower in the napkin ring and then have the leaves on it, would look so cool. And nobody else would have that. Another idea I had was floral arrangements. You can make little miniature floral arrangements with these beaded leaves. And because of the holes that I have in these leaves, you can connect them together with jump rings or split rings, whatever you want. There are just so many different possibilities you could do with these. You can just take one of them and put it on a chain and put some other charms on there. I've seen these bead caps that look like acorns, and I don't know where they're at, but I saw them in a magazine, and I just thought they would look really cool with these beaded leaves if I could find those dang acorn bead caps. So anyways, this is the bracelet I made, and now I'm going to show you the necklace that I've made with these leaves, and I have spent so much time in this necklace. This is the biggest project that I've made to date. I've spent so much time in it, a lot of work, so much planning. Like I said, after I filmed that video is when I got the idea to do a floral necklace, but I knew that it was going to take a lot of planning, and I wanted to use these beads for that necklace, so I've been saving these beads all that time for that necklace. So now I'm going to show you my big project. So here it is, my finished necklace. Now when I was designing this, I had to make sure that the heaviest part of the necklace was going to be in the center, because the heaviest part always falls towards the center of your necklace. And I've gone to a lot of department stores, and I've noticed that they'll have some really pretty necklaces, but because of how they're designed, when you go to wear it, the necklace is going to spin, because the heaviest part of the necklace is sometimes on the left or the right side of the necklace. So whenever you design a piece like this, you want to make sure that your weight is evenly distributed. So these are what my flowers look like. I used check drop beads. This is my original design, and this is my new flower design now. They're more 3D looking, I would say. They're pretty. I like them. Now, I made a total of 11 leaves. I have 5 big leaves and 6 smaller leaves. To get 2 different sizes, all I did was change the amount of seed beads I used in my center vein. So right here is my center vein, which goes all the way through the whole leaf, and it has a total of 15 seed beads. And these leaves here in this fall bracelet are the same size as this leaf. So 15 beads in the center vein to get the bigger leaf, and to get the smaller leaf I used 10 seed beads in the center vein. And because of that, I have this section here and the green one taken out of here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 veins, side veins, horizontal veins in the big leaf, and in the smaller one I have 3. Now, with the rest of the necklace, after I made the leaves and the flowers, I wanted to keep the floral look going. So I made a beaded vine, and this is what it looks like. And it's really cool because it sticks out in all different directions, like a actual tree branch or something. It's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to flip this over and show you how I connected my leaves and my flowers together. What I did was I tied all the leaves off. So I tied all 11 of them off, knotted them off, snipped the threads, and after I made the flowers, I did not cut the string off the flowers. I left the strings on, and I used the strings from the flowers to add my leaves. So if you've watched this video, you would remember how I did the back of this flower. And if you don't remember, go ahead and watch that video, and I will leave a link to this video in the description bar below down there so you can go back and watch it. Now, the back of this flower that I did, the ring in this ring video, is made the same exact way as these flowers. So in this one, I made this bottom here so my petals stayed flat when I wore it. And in between, I have these little gaps, and I just added a seed bead. But instead of adding a seed bead when you want to do this necklace, you just take a leaf right here at this one bead, and you put the leaf right there, and you pass through it with the string that's left over from your flowers. Do not cut the strings off your flowers, leave them there. Okay, so after I put all my leaves on, then I tied it off. So here I have a 5-petal flower, so I was able to connect 5 leaves to this flower. And in here, after each 3 beads, you could see was my gap right there where that little seed bead's at. And I just put my leaf in here, and I took my string from the flower, and I passed through that, and I passed through these 3, and I picked up another leaf, and I passed through these 3. And once I had all of them on, I just went back through these seed beads and tied knots. It did take a long time to tie all these knots and finish off the necklace. It took like 2 nights. I worked for like 3 hours each night, like 2 nights in a row. So anyways, that's the back of this one, and then over here I have 4 leaves. So here I added a bead, and you can see my knots. They are a little visible, but that does not matter because this is the back of my necklace. It doesn't really matter that the knots are a little bit visible. So you can see here, this side is the same. So this side and this side is the same. After I made these, I connected to this flower, which the stem of my leaf is here, and this is a stem, and these are the points of my leaf that are connected to my center flower. So this is what the back of my necklace looks like. Here's the list of materials you will need to make a beaded leaf. You will need 2.5 feet of 8-pound test monofilament, and I'm saying 8-pound because 8-pound is slightly thinner and it's easier to work with than 10-pound for this project because we will be passing back through these seed beads several times, so 8-pound is best. And also, monofilament is better to use for this project than thread because the thread, if I were to use thread, it's really soft. So my leaf is not going to have this natural leaf shape. It's going to be flat, and it's going to be floppy, and it's not going to lay right in my pieces. So monofilament is best for keeping 3D shapes and your pieces stiff. So with these rings, I used monofilament, and also the flowers in my necklace, I used monofilament to make those. But for my beaded vine that I did for the back of my necklace, I used thread for that because I needed that vine to be really soft and flexible. But with my leaves and my flowers, I need them to be stiff and keep a 3D shape, and I don't need that shape to be moving around and changing all the time. So I need it to be, you know, stiff. So monofilament is best for these leaves and the flowers. You're also going to need seed beads, and I found that 10-0 seed beads are best for this project, and that is because they are slightly bigger and it's easier to work with them because we're going to be passing several times through the seed beads. Now if you don't have 10-0s, you can use 11-0s. It will just be a little bit trickier to pass back through the beads. You'll have to bend your flower a lot and push your monofilament through, which we will be doing it with these here, but you'll have to fight a little bit more to get your string to go through your 11-0 seed beads. Now these tweezers, these really help with that issue if you're struggling to pass through your seed beads using these tweezers. Now I wouldn't recommend using chain nose pliers, the fine ones, because what they're going to do is crush your monofilament and flatten it, and you'll have to cut the end off, and it's going to ruin your monofilament because, you know, they're strong and they squish it. But the tweezers, they can't really squish your monofilament because they're not that strong. So again, you will need 2.5 feet of 8-pound monofilament, 10-0 seed beads, and if you don't have 10, you can use 11. It will just be a little bit more of a struggle. And you're going to need fine point tweezers. If you don't have beading tweezers, you can get away with eyebrow tweezers. Those work great too, as long as they have a fine point. So this is all you're going to need, and remember, I always leave a material list in the description bar below this video so you can see everything down there. I will be using 8-0 seed beads to demonstrate how to do this because they are a lot easier to see on my camera and also a lot easier for me to see with a tripod sitting in front of me. So I'm going to start by picking up 7 seed beads. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Double check, make sure I have 7, and slide them down. Now I have to pick up 15 seed beads for my stem, but I'm going to do 5 at a time because it's a little bit easier. So the 7 beads I just picked up is my stem, and now I'm going to do my my center vein. So I picked up 5, and I'm going to take my other string and I'm going to go through these 5 seed beads in the same direction. Okay, pull those down and pick up 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide these down and go through them. Same direction. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slide these down and go through them again in the same direction. Put the ends together, make sure they are even, and bring all of these seed beads down so it looks like this. Now I'm going to double check, make sure that I have 15 seed beads, just in case I pick up an extra one so I don't have to take it apart and redo it again. So here's 5, 10, 15. Slide them down. Oops, and my ends aren't even, so I have to fix that. Okay. Now I'm going to take one of my strings, pick up 2 seed beads, take my other string, pick up 2, let those fall. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up 7 seed beads, and this is going to be the point of my leaf, right here, this part. I have 4, 5, 6, 7. Double check, 7. Bring this down a little bit, and I'm going to cross through it. Okay, just like this. I'm going to take one of my strings, pick up 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, check again, make sure I have 7, 7, slide them down. So this is the point of my leaf, this is the stem, this whole piece here is my center vein. I'm going to take my string and I'm going to go through my first 2 seed beads in my center vein, these 2, and I'm going to go in this direction. So bend this so I could pass through them. Okay, just like this. Now I have to turn it and then pass through these 2. Pull it through. Now I'm going to make this a little loose so I can see where I'm going. I want to make sure I don't go through this one, so that's why I pull this down. And then I'm going to go through 4 of these seed beads. Oops, I went through 5. Okay, pull that, and that's what this side looks like. Now I have to flip it over and do the same thing over here. I'm going to pick up 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Count to make sure I got 7. Slide them down. Okay, I'm going to go through these 2 beads again, just like I did on the other side. And through the other 2. But first I just want to get through these 2. So through these 2, and then through these 2 over here. Okay? Make sure you keep your string on this side, because there's a left string and there's a right string of our leaf. I'm going to pull this down to make sure, so I can make sure that I'm only going to go through these 4 leaves and not through that first one. 4 beads. Did I say 4 leaves? Okay. Go through these 4 seed beads. Just like this. And that's what it should look like. Now I'm going to tighten up my strings. And now we're going to pick up 8 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Double check. 8. Slide them down. Okay, so this part here is very important. We have to make sure that we skip the first bead that's touching this part here. So right here is this bead and it's touching this part. We're going to skip this bead and we're going to go through these 2. So I'm going to bend my seed beads so I could pass through these 2 seed beads right here. Okay, just like this. Okay, so we're skipping a bead. Actually, I'm skipping 2 beads. Wrong spot. Right here, skipping this bead. Okay, so right there's the 1 bead we are skipping, and we're going through these 2. Pull this through. Now turn this around and go through these 3. Pull it through, loosen these up, and I'm going to go through these 4 seed beads right here. Pull it tight and go to this side. I'm going to pick up 8 seed beads. 2, 3, 4, 5. Double check, make sure I have 8. Okay, I have to go through these 2 beads here. So the same thing I did on the other side, I'm going to do over here. These 2, skipping that 1 right there. Pull this through, turn it, lift these up, and go through them. And now I have to loosen this up here, and I'm going to go through 4 seed beads. Okay. So pull both strings tight. And now looking at this, you could see that it's curving where we skipped this 1 bead. So skipping that bead was very important. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to skip this bead right here. So make sure your strings are tight. Now take one of your strings and pick up 8 seed beads. 6, 7, 8. Count them to make sure you have 8, and I do. Slide them down. Okay, so we're skipping this bead, and we're going to go through these 3, because I have 2 here and 2 here. So now I'm going to do 3. So bend it right here, stick stick my fingernail in her and go through these 3, okay? Make sure to skip this bead. So just through these 3 beads and skip this one. Now pull this through. This is what we should have. I'm going to turn it, go through these 4 seed beads, pull it through, go up this side, go through only 4, and then pull it tight. I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Pick up 8, six, 7, 8. Double check. I have 8. Okay, slide them down. I have to make sure that I go through these 3 here, doing the same thing I did over there. Okay, through these 3, pull it through, turn it around so I can pass through right here, pull it through, turn around again, and now I'm going to go down the side through 4 seed beads. Okay, pull it tight. So I'm going to explain this a little bit to you real quick. This is our stem. This is the center of our vein, our center vein. So at the beginning we picked up 7 beads. Then we picked up 15 and we went in the same direction. And then once we got here we pick up 2 beads on each side. Then we picked up 7 and crossed through them. Then we picked up 7 here and we looped around, went through these 2 beads, came through these 2, went up the side, these 4 side beads on each side. And then we came up here and we picked up 8. And then we went down these 2 beads, we skipped this one, came out, went through these 3 here, and went up through 4 beads, and we did the same thing on each side. And now up here we just picked up 4 and we went through these 3 beads. So you should have 2 beads here, 2 beads here, 3 here, and then up here we're going to have 4 in the middle. Okay? Make sure your strings are tight. And now I'm going to pick up 7. So we did 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, and now 7 again. 7 on this side, 7 on that side. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Double check and make sure you have 7. Slide them down. So again, we have to skip the first bead that's touching our leaf. So this bead right here we are skipping, and doing that makes our leaf curve. And look from the side, you could see that it is curving. And you can also see that this bead and this bead is protruding. So I'm going to take my string, I'm going to skip the first bead, I'm going to come all the way over here, and I'm going to go through this bead, and I'm going to go through 4 of them. So bend this. Now you might not be able to get through all 4 at one time. You might have to do like go through 2, pull the string out, and then go back through 2 more. Okay, so I got through all 4 of them. Pull it through, and it should look like this. Now I have to turn it, and I'm going to go through these 4. Pull it through. Now I'm going to go up the side, but I'm not going to go through 4, I'm going to go through all 7 of these seed beads. Okay, all 7, pull it through, pull it tight, this string's in my way. Now I'm going to take this string and go up these 3 right here in the stem. 2 and 3, okay? So now this string's out of my way because it's going straight up. I have to turn this around and pick up 7 seed beads. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slide them down. And I have to go through these 4 beads right here. So I'm skipping this bead, going through these 4, and I'm skipping this one, and I'm coming out this bead right here, the 4th bead. So through these. Okay. Pull it through, turn it around, go through right here, turn it again, and go down through all 7 of these seed beads. There's 3, 7. Now I have to go up through these 3. Okay. So once I get both strings out of the stem, I'm going to pull both of my strings and make sure that it's very tight. Okay, and here is my leaf. And you can bend it flat like this. And if you want, you can go back and check and make sure that your leaf is right. Because like I said earlier, I had some issues where I was counting one time, not a second time, to make sure, and I would either pick up a bead or one would fall off, I didn't notice it, and then when I got to my flower, it would be twisted like this or scrunched up on one side because a bead fell out. So you can go back if you want and count to make sure that you have the right amount. So there's 2 beads here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 there, 1 in between each of those that you're skipping, which is causing your leaf to curve. You have 7 beads right here, okay, these 7 I'm gripping. You have 2 here, 2 here, 4 on this side, 4 on this side, 4 on this side, 7 up here. There's 2 in this vein, 2 in that vein, 3 this vein, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, you should have 4 here. You should have 1 there you're skipping, and you're going up the sides of these 3. So now I'm going to get in position to tie my knots. So I'm going to take my strings, and I'm going to go through this seed bead at the point. I'm going to go through these 3. And I realized that also going back through the way I'm doing is helping the stem stay more even with the leaf, because I had an issue for some reason. My stem kept twisting on one of the leaves I did, and once I did this, it kept it in place. Okay, now I'm going to go back through all 7 of these seed beads, but I'm doing it with the string that came from over here, not this string, okay? So now I'm going to take the string from this side and go through here and reinforce it. So through this bead, these 3, two, and 3. Do 7 of these. Okay. I'm going to pull my strings tight. This one tight, this one tight. Okay. So now we are in position to tie our half-hitch knot. Now I'm going to show you how to tie the knots, and I'm going to tie my knots in between right here, okay? And if you pull this apart, you could see a thread. Let me get this out of the way. Right here. See that single thread right there? We're going to snatch that thread and we're going to tie a knot on it, a half-hitch knot. So I'm going to take my string, I'm going to go underneath, grab that thread, go through this loop twice, and pull the knot down. Okay? Then I'm going to pass through these 4 beads, come out the 4th one, and if you can't go through all 4, go through a couple, then go through, you know, until you get out the 4th one. Okay, through the 4th one. You have to pull this open so you can see that string. Right, there's my string. I'm going to put this behind, grab that thread, and I'm going to make a loop, and I'm going to go through the loop twice and pull this knot down over that string. Pull it tight. Now I'm going to go down these 4 here, okay? And then I'm going to tie another knot right here, and then I'm going to go down here, tie another knot, go through these 3, cut my string right here, and then I'm going to go to this side and tie knots in between these gaps. And then when I get out these 3, I'll cut it off. So keep going, tying your knots, doing both sides, and then cutting off the string when you're done, and then you're ready to use your leaf for whatever you want to make with it. This is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the things you've made from my videos on my Facebook page. And thank you so much for watching. And I just can't wait to see what you guys are going to make with these beaded leaves. Oh, and one thing I wanted to let you guys know about. Facebook used to let me share everybody's pictures on my page. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook or not, but a while ago I had just a personal page, and YouTube made me have a business page because I had a lot of traffic on there. So I was just sharing people's pictures onto my wall so everybody can see them. But now when I go to share pictures on my wall, it's not letting me. So every time you go on my Facebook page and you see just my stuff, the reason why you're only seeing my stuff and not anybody else's, it's because Facebook won't let me share your pictures anymore on my wall. But if you want to see what other people are making, all you have to do is go to that comment section on the left side of the page, the posts, and there you'll see what other people are making. So I hope that makes sense to you guys, and again, thank you so much for watching.